Hello, everyone. Good afternoon. Let's see. How is everyone doing today? I have the lurk function now. I did that this morning. So if you type in lurk, exclamation point lurk, Nightbot will say that you're lurking. So that's fun. So if you're lurking, feel free to use that or not, whatever you want. But that's there for you. Um, okay, so today is our midweek toast, and that means I get to show you what we do, what things that we can put on toast. And today we have, I think, might be controversial. I'm just always starting controversies here. And I'm going to call a banh mi because the filling is inspired by banh mi, and it's how I usually make my banh mi. Except I'm going to use the ciabatta that we made last weekend instead of a baguette. And that might be controversial, okay? Because I feel that banh mi's have to be on a baguette. Um, that's just how I feel. And yet at the same time, I'm going to break my own rules with this one. I'm gonna break my own rules. I think it'll be delicious, which is the most important point. But I'm not sure if it's technically a banh mi. But we're gonna call it that anyway. That's what it's inspired by. And of course, like everything we make here, it's gonna be vegan. And I wanna actually, so I have the cutting board here. I have mushrooms. I have like other ingredients here. So we're gonna make it. And boy, do I have a surprise for you, and perhaps a surprise for me too. Oh, I have a surprise for me too if I get it to work. Let's see. Let's see if it works because I should have tested it. I tested it like a few minutes ago, but I should have tested it right now. But yes. So let's see if this works. It is stuck. It's there, but it's stuck. Let me check. Oh, it says it's connecting. Give it a minute. I have my camera set up, and it was working yesterday and earlier today. It was working. So let me come back here to the main scene until it connects. But essentially, I'm going to show you how to make the filling for the banh mi, which today is going to be super simple. This is the most simple filling you could make, and you can put it in any sandwich. If you like mushrooms, you'll like it. If you don't like mushrooms, I'm sorry, you might not like it because it's mostly mushrooms. It's all mushrooms. Okay, and there's hardly any other filling in it. Let's see if it connected. No, it's not connected. Yeah, it's not connected. Maybe I have to plug it back in or something. Jeeps. It was working a few minutes ago, I swear. I swear. But so what we're gonna do is we're gonna just chop up the mushrooms, and I'm gonna saute them with a little bit of ginger or a whole lot of ginger, depending on how much ginger you make, and salt, and that's it. You can put soy sauce in instead of salt if you want it to be more umami, but that's pretty much it. I mean, you can put onions in, you can put garlic in, you can put chilies in, whatever. But I just keep it simple. I just keep it simple. All right, I'm gonna reconnect the camera. See if it works. I'm gonna be mad if this doesn't work when I took so long to get it to work last night, and it was working last night. Maybe I need to restart this. One minute, guys, I'm sorry. Needs to be reconnected. Yeah, pumpkin lurks when there's technical work to be done. I don't think you could help me with this because it's the camera connection. But I'm pretty sure I just need to reconnect it, but sometimes it was giving me a hard time last night about connecting it. And yeah, it's doing the same thing it was doing last night. The camera, it says it's not connected, but it is connected. So Let's try it again. Turn it off. Turn it back on. Oh wait, I think I might have got it. Oh no. It says it's connecting. Yeah, I don't think it's OBS, it's the camera. Or it's imaging edge that does this. It says it's not connected. When it is connected. Oh my god. Okay, hold on. This is what it was doing to me last night. No, it's my digital camera. And I connected it. It always gives me a hard time actually with this. And then I connected it last night, and it took me like an hour to do, which might be why I can't do it right now. And now I'm a little annoyed by that because I was so excited about it. I was so excited, and now it's just not. I had it like literally like 20 minutes ago. I had it on, and that's why I'm like, I can't believe this. But last night it was telling me like, oh, it's not connected, but it was connected. And now it's doing it again. Which I don't know what to do about that because now I'm a little. Yeah, so it's on, like my camera's on and it's working. And if I connect it, it just says connecting USB. And then it shouldn't say that though. It should be already connected because it's. And then when I try to do it on the Imaging Edge desktop, it says that there's no cameras connected. The camera is not connected, it says. But that doesn't really make sense because it is connected. Let me try it again. Because I feel like I might have to just start the computer, but I don't want to do that because I don't want to end the stream and restart the stream. I just want it to work. Yeah, I'm wasting so much time on this, but I just want this to work because that's why I have it up. I set it all up for you guys. Oh no, it is here. Yeah, I know, Brooke. I know. I should just work on it another time. I'm just a little upset because I worked hard on it last night to get it to work. Okay. Yeah, it's something with the connection to the camera. Maybe I'll try. It worked last night. I had to restart my computer last night for it to work, and then this literally 20 minutes ago, it was working. So that's kind of annoying me right now. So I'll just start chopping then. Yeah, I unplugged it a few times. If you were here to bear a fan, I was just unplugging and replugging it a few times and turning it off. I'll turn it off for now, and then maybe I'll try turning it back on later and seeing if it works. But I'll go back to the main scene. I'm so sad. I had it on 20 minutes ago. But anyway, okay, I'm gonna chop up the mushrooms. I'm gonna clean them off first. It's good to clean off your mushrooms with like a towel. Get the dirt off of it. Um, you could clean it off with water, but the thing is, mushrooms absorb a lot of water. Pumpkin says sometimes my capture card doesn't work if I start OBS before it. Yeah, maybe I have to restart OBS. I think I have to restart my whole computer because that's what I had to do last night to get it to work. But like I said, I had it on OBS working like just now. So I did test it. I should have tested it like right before I streamed, but I did test it like within the last half hour. Yeah, stupid camera. I feel like it's not really, it is the camera, but it's the imaging edge software. That's the part that's buggy. And so, um, I had this problem since I got this camera. I never use imaging edge software because it's like so not user friendly and never works. And yesterday it took me like an hour to get it working. And, but I did, and I was so excited. Um, and I don't know. I don't know. Pumpkin says, is that the one that Alex's uses? I don't know if that's the one that Alex's uses because it's specifically for Sony, I think. Yes. Hi to Bear Fan. It's for Sony cameras. And Sony camera, I don't know. I like my camera except that part. My camera's good except that part of it. It's supposed to connect with Wi-Fi too, but I could never figure out how to do that. That was next level. I don't trust my phone if I'm being honest, but I can try my phone. Okay. I'm just gonna chop these mushrooms like this. Doesn't have to be perfect, but be careful, don't slice your finger off. And I'm gonna chop up this whole container. So it's a 16-ounce container, which is the same as a pound. And these are just cremini mushrooms, or they're either cremini or white button mushrooms. Doesn't matter. It could be any type of mushroom, but I just get the cheaper ones. Mushrooms can be expensive. So the cremini or white button ones are usually the cheapest. I had such a good shot with that camera. Okay, I'm gonna turn it on later before we start cooking and see if it's working. Maybe I'll unplug it. Sometimes if you unplug something and plug it back in, now it's lopsided though. Oh, Death Duck is here. Hi, Death Duck. How are you? We're chopping up mushrooms. Death Duck says, doing pretty good. It's been a while. Yeah, Death Duck, it's been a while. We're going to make a mushroom banh mi. But I had a question for all the chatters. What is a banh mi? You know, it's a philosophical question. You can use a towel to wipe down the mushrooms. I sometimes use my hand. Better use a towel. What is a banh mi? Because we're gonna put this filling on ciabatta, but banh mi is put on a baguette. So what is it? Am I not making a banh mi? Probably not. That was my question of the day. Oh wait, I'm not typing anything. Is a banh mi about the bread or the filling? I don't have the answers. I don't have all the answers. I'm not that wise. That Duck says, without looking up the word you're asking about, I'm going to say it's like cream cheese, but it has fish and maybe some garlic, and you only use it in the evening. Good guess. A banh mi is a Vietnamese sandwich that is actually inspired by the French colonists. Oh, welcome to the chat, Humbly Yozers. Humbly Yozers. I'm going to call you Humbly Yozers unless you correct me. Okay, like that name. Yeah, banh mi is a feeling. I agree. It's the feeling you get when you're eating a delicious sandwich. So banh mi is a sandwich. Also a feeling, but a sandwich. And it's inspired, or I guess influenced by the French colonists who like to eat ham and cheese sandwiches on baguettes. And then it became a Vietnamese staple, and it has, you know, meats. Usually has meats in it. Sometimes there are vegetarian versions like with tofu. I'm doing it with mushrooms, so there's plenty of ways to make it vegetarian or vegan, but it's usually a meat-based sandwich. And then it has like pickles and fresh herbs and mayonnaise and all fun stuff like that. So it's like sweet and spicy and umami. It's got all the good flavors and salty. So I have 16 ounces Death Duck says it might also mean my street if you take the me in Spanish and the Bahn in German. Death Duck, it might mean my street. It might. It's a lot of meanings. Okay, I like this chat. It has a lot of meanings. But it means delicious. Really, it's delicious. But I believe banh mi is I think it's comes from the name of the bread. What the Vietnamese call the baguette. Which Vietnamese baguette, by the way, I've actually never made a real Vietnamese baguette because it has rice flour in it. I don't know if I trust that. I'm sure it tastes fine. But I just don't know if I trust with the rice flour. Okay, so we have our mushrooms. I'm going to preheat the pan. And while I'm preheating the pan, I'm going to see if I can get this to work. And if I can't, then I'll forget about it for today. But I'm going to try one more time. I had it turned off for a few minutes, so maybe that'll help. So here's our pan. We want it to be hot, hot, hot. It's a cast iron, so it's and maybe you'll see it there. It's well used cast iron. So I'm not going to add any oil to it. I oiled it just a few minutes ago, so there is oil in the pan, but just on the surface. But if you want, you can add oil. So I'm going to turn this on high. These things take a while to heat up. Okay, it's plugged in. It's on. It says it's connecting. That's the same problem we just had. Yeah, so it's pretty sure it's the Imaging Edge software. Death Duck says, the story begins in the mid-19th century when Vietnam fell under French colonial rule. The French brought their baguette with them. The French needed banh mi to alleviate their what? Yeah, it's got to be the imaging desktop problem because it was connected before and now it just won't connect. And it's connected to the computer too. Like the computer recognizes that it's there, but the Imaging Edge desktop does not recognize that it's here. It says that there's nothing connected, which is just not true. Obviously, it's not true. There is something connected to the computer. But yeah, okay. Well, that's just really a bummer to me because I worked hard getting this to work. Ennui. What does that word mean? I don't know that word. Ennui. It means boredom. Boredom. Yeah, that's right. Don't fall, please. Yeah, I don't think I'm getting this to work. Which it's just bugging me. Just forget about it. It's bugging me. Okay, so once this heats up, Death Duck says, I like how it rhymes with banh mi. Also, that was the Bear fan who came up with the history. I haven't had a baguette in too long. Well, you gotta have one then. You gotta have a baguette. Oh, it just did something. Hold on. I don't know why I did that. You gotta have a baguette because baguettes are delicious. We should do baguettes one day on stream. No, it's not here. Well, this is a shame. Set everything up for you guys. I guess you can still kind of see. You just won't be able to see it cooking, really. I didn't bring a spatula to like stir it with, but that's okay. I'll have to get up and get one. So I can hear it sizzling now, so I know it's ready to put the mushrooms in. We're gonna put a little bit of salt. And then we're just gonna put some garlic. Okay, Mom asks, is this mushroom bread? I guess we can make mushroom bread if you'd like. We can make this into mushroom bread. No, but we're making a sandwich. We're making a sandwich. So, we have the mushrooms in here. And then I'm going to get some ginger in there. And the mushroom is going to be obviously the sandwich filling. Maybe next time we'll make mushroom bread. Measure it with your heart. But I would say about like a thumb size piece of ginger. Okay, so then you're gonna stir it around. I have to get a spoon because I'm not going to burn myself with my hands doing that. So I'll put the ginger back in the freezer and get a spoon to stir this so it doesn't burn. And I will be right back. Death Duck says, at this angle to the camera, it looked like your thumb would be grated any second. Yeah, I did not grate my thumb. It was actually safe. So, but you can wear cutting gloves or protective gloves if you're afraid of doing that. I actually have protective gloves. Probably should be wearing them, but my fingers are safe. So that's good. All right, I'll be right back. Hold on, guys. Hold on. The camera's not working now. None of the cameras are working. Do you see this?
Yeah.
Let me try to do this. All right. Now it's working. Okay. All right. I got a spoon. And Gonzalito is here. He got me the spoon. So see the you don't have to stay here. I thought you were gonna do your accent.
That's alright. Alright. What this camera's doing, it's not right. These cameras, the software is supposed to be airtight. And you know it's faulty. I mean I say no. But yeah, it's not right. I'm Australian.
My husband is Australian. No, he's not. He's from California. But today he's Australian.
I could be from either coast.
Either coast?
What is a location, really? What if we're all time travelers?
Time travelers?
Give that a think.
Okay, so you can kind of see the mushrooms are cooking down. That's what you want. Death Duck says, Australians always say, I'm Australian. That's how you can tell. Yeah, that's how you can tell. They always have to convince you that they're Australian.
I'm an Aussie.
Yeah. We were chatting with this other vegan couple that stream. I can shout them out, even though you guys might already know them because they're kind of a big deal. No, I'm just kidding. They have a larger channel, but I'll shout them out. And they were doing an American accent, and I told them that my husband would do an Australian accent next time. Unfortunately, they can't always come to my streams because they are... How do I do this? They are in Australia. Big time difference. Yeah, so they're actually Australian. But yeah, they were doing an American accent. Yeah, the camera still, let me... I'm always like, I'll try one more time. If I deactivate it and reactivate. No, it's not gonna work. I just really want it to work. I really want it to work so bad. But I guess next time. It's almost done anyway. I'll turn it off now, actually, the stove rather. So it didn't take that long. The mushrooms cooked down really quickly. And you see, you just kind of want them like that. Oop. I don't want to drop them on the computer. Like that. And like I said, you can put other things in them. Like, I just use ginger, which I have to still put that in the freezer. But you can put onions, you can put garlic, you can put chilies, you can put soy sauce. I keep it simple. I used to like go crazy and put lemongrass and like all this other stuff, but lately I just do it this way. Because we're going to put a lot of toppings on. You'll see in the sandwich, we'll put a lot of toppings on. So you really don't need it to be that, the mushrooms to carry all the flavor. You just need the mushrooms for the umami flavor, really. For that meaty texture. And then the other things will have flavor to it. So, that's that. What I want to show you is I'm going to... Gonzalo, do you want a sandwich?
Yes.
I'm going to toast the ciabatta for the sandwich. And then I'm going to make the sandwich. And then we're going to eat the sandwich. So that's what we'll do. Um, so I'll be right back. I'm gonna toast the sandwich, get all the ingredients, put some of this stuff away, and then we will come back and eat a sandwich. Or we're gonna make the sandwich, then eat the sandwich. Let's see. Okay, so I don't have the bread yet. It's in the toaster oven. Don't need that. I want to show you what we're gonna put on it. So here we have beet pickles that I made. These are fermented. They are actually, I fermented them in one of my Crocs, and I'll have to ferment them again. Maybe on stream, I'll ferment some beet pickles. And but traditionally, it's usually carrot pickles and radish pickles, but I do not like radishes at all. So I use beet pickles, and usually they're quick pickles, which is just pickles made with vinegar. But I use these fermented beet pickles. They're so good. So good. So I'll have to teach you how to make that if you guys are interested. I have sriracha mayo. It's vegan sriracha mayo. And I have more sriracha here. Hi to Bear Fan. Hello. I have more sriracha here. I have, this is actually parsley. You could use cilantro or mint or another herb. I even use lemon verbena in the summer. But it's not that I don't like cilantro. I actually do like cilantro. Pete, hello. Oh my God, Pete. Welcome, welcome. We're making a banh mi. We just made some mushrooms. You guys saw me fight with my camera. And now the ciabatta is in the toaster oven. The Death Duck says, I like how your eyes widened when you mentioned radishes. Is it one of us? Is if one of us was going to make you eat one? If you didn't tell us quickly that you didn't like them. Yes, I really don't like radishes. So it's like to me they taste like bitter, almost like bitter, like just gross. So I don't like radishes. So we're gonna do beets. I actually like cilantro, but I'm gonna use parsley because I find that parsley lasts longer. When you buy cilantro from the store, I always find that it's already kind of wilty and not as good. So it's not really a taste thing for me. I actually think cilantro would be really good on this, but it's more of like I think the parsley lasts so much longer, and I get more out of it before it dies. So I can keep parsley in the fridge for weeks. And this is how I do it too. I put it in a jar like this with water and put it in the fridge like that. And sometimes I put like a cap on it, like a little plastic bag over it to keep it fresher. But it lasts a long time in the fridge like this. And on mine, I don't know if my husband wants this on his, but I'm gonna put some spicy peanut butter on mine. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce that. Chiforosity. Please let me know what you'd like to be called, or I'm going to call you Chiforosity. So Chiforosity, welcome to the chat. I'm Elisa, by the way. I feel like I never introduced myself. Elisa, nice to meet you. And she says, yay, a vegan stream. You'll get a follow. Thanks for the follow. Chaos City. Death Duck, you're so smart. You're like, you're above. You're above everyone else. You're just like way up here. Death Duck says leet. Chaosity. But how did you... Isn't there Chaosity? I guess the 4 is like an A. Chaosity or Nico. Death Duck says that's because ducks fly up there. It's more about altitude than cleverness. The Bear Fan says leet is a technical language. Chaosity says it's a cocktail. Okay, I don't know. I didn't know too much about cocktails, but the more you know. Okay, Chaosity. Got it now. Okay, the bread is done. I heard it beep, so I'll be right back. That duck says yeah. And I could only fit one sandwich worth of bread. The bread's actually really big, so I can only fit one sandwich worth, so I'll put my husband's in now as well. Okay, so we have the bread. And like I said, I took this right from the freezer and put it into the toaster. And it's nice and crispy now from being in the toaster, but it's soft on the middle, in the middle. I burnt this side, but that's okay. Yeah, it's soft still, but it's still crunchy. It's perfect. So I said that with the ciabatta, we made this on Sunday, by the way. For those of you who weren't here, we made ciabatta on Sunday from scratch. It's sourdough ciabatta, and today I'm showing you a sandwich I'm making with it. So, here we are. Oh yeah. We got to get the sound effect. I was gonna use this for the peanut butter, but I can get another one for the peanut butter, or I can just wipe this off. Yeah, it's perfectly toasted. It's good. Oh yeah. So every weekend I do make a different type of bread usually, but I'm definitely going to bake something. This weekend we're making chili oil focaccia, so that's exciting. Chaosity said the TikTok sound effect of fresh baked food. Yeah, I guess we live in a TikTok world now, right? A TikTok nation. TikTokosity, right? So how am I going to do this? Let's see. So we have really big. We might actually finish these mushrooms in 2 sandwiches. I'm going to start with the mayonnaise. The Bear Fan says making other platform content here. Yeah. I'm actually not. I'm on TikTok. I was on TikTok briefly, but I didn't like it, and it's too much for me. I can only handle so much social media, and it takes a lot of time to update them all. So I just stopped doing it. Maybe eventually go back to it. And I don't like TikTok because it makes people it lowers people's attention spans. And I want people to pay attention, you know? I have things to say. And I think people should, not that I'm so important, but I think people should, in general, they should pay attention. Yeah, I know you guys want me to be on Twitter. I'll get a Twitter. Maybe instead of TikTok, I'll get Twitter. But Twitter just makes people fight. I feel like it's just okay. I'm gonna put spicy peanut butter on this side. This is gonna be one heck of a sandwich. That's all I'm saying. This is my spicy peanut butter, which I also made on stream a few weeks ago. I don't remember exactly what day it was, but it was a few weeks ago. This is gonna be one heck of a Sammy. Okay. I guess I'll make this one the bottom one. The Bear Fan says, I skip all the drama on Twitter. I only use it for sports and streamers, updates to my games. Yeah, I'm sure it just depends on who you follow, right? So I guess I can skip all the drama. I've just never been on Twitter, even when I was younger. So now I'm going to put mushrooms on. Make sure I leave enough for my husband. And now I'll do the Bear Fan said, I missed the board to pan. What did you season the shrooms with? It was so simple. I just used ginger and salt. But I have done it with lemongrass before. I have done it adding chilies and garlic and onions, but I've made this so many times, and I find that simple is fine because we're going to put all the toppings on. But go ham with it. Go ham with it. Hayasi says, I'm using an old Walkman for listening to music and so that I have no mobile phone in my hand. Sorry for my bad English. I'm from Germany. You don't have bad English, Chaosity. Welcome from Germany. Um, yeah, I think it's good to use. That sounds like something I would do, honestly. I do use my phone for music, but I actually specifically I used to use YouTube to listen to music, and now I specifically only use music apps to listen to music, so I don't get sidetracked when I'm listening to music by other dumb things. Because it's addicting. Phones can be addicting, and you know how I feel about that. So this is how the oops. This is how the beats look. I slice them up like you can slice them up how you want, but this is how I slice them. So I'm gonna put some beets on top. Oop. Oh, another thing. Be careful. I put chilies in my pickled um, beets, but don't eat them unless you're cuckoo. It makes the beets a little spicy, but they're too spicy to eat plain, in my opinion. So be careful. If you're like me and you're cuckoo, be careful. Okay. Okay. I have to plug in my computer, but where did I put the? Oh, give me 1 second. With all the camera drama, I forgot to plug in my computer. Ooh, be careful. There you go. So Chaosity asks, so since when are you vegan? I've been vegan for a long time, actually. There you go. I've been vegan for a long time. I'm 31 now, and I've been vegan probably since I was 20. So since when have you been vegan? For me now, it's pretty easy because you get used to it. I think the hardest part, if I had to say one part was hard, is probably like eating out with friends or dealing with like the social things, like dealing with other people who don't get it or don't really want to get it but still want to question you all the time about it. Yeah, I think that's the hardest part. But otherwise, yeah, it's pretty chill. So I'm just putting the parsley on. I like a whole lot of herbs. A whole lot of herbs. Honestly, I should have made more mushrooms, like, because these sandwiches are going to be huge. Need more mushrooms. You can also, a lot of people make banh mi's with tofu or tempeh for more protein. So if you want to do that, that's another possibility. Gonzalo, is your thing toasted yet?
Oh yeah, I finished a while back.
Oh, okay.
So wanna ring it?
It's up to you. If you want to make your sandwich. So let's see. So the question is this a banh mi? I don't know if it is, but it's good. Do you want peanut butter on yours or no?
Yes.
You want both like I did?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So what I did was I put peanut butter on one side and then I put the mayo on the other side. Okay. And then let me know when you're ready for the these guys, the mushrooms. Do you want to be off screen or on screen? My husband will join us today for a surprise mukbang, for a surprise couples mukbang. Okay, Chaosity said, I'm vegan for 5 years now. I was just trying it for fun, and after 1 month, I got that much energy from vegan food that I decided to never eat animal stuff again. Better sleep, more energy, better skin, and the list goes on. And Chaosity says, 2 years ago, I printed the vegan V on my skin. Oh, wow, nice.
There's a vegan bee?
Yeah, the bear fan asked, like that V symbol. You know what I'm talking about?
Oh, yeah, like what's on nutritional labels.
Yeah,
and
what's
stuff,
on the
right?
nutritional labels, yeah. The bear fan says homemade mayo, or did you just add sriracha to it? It's vegan mayo with sriracha added to it. Oh yeah, I'm gonna add extra sriracha on mine. Let's see, without ruining the sandwich now.
Probably when I went vegan too, 5 years ago.
Yeah, so why did you go vegan, Gonzalo?
Hmm?
Why did you go vegan?
Well, I used to work at Whole Foods. So I knew what veganism was. And I've tried stuff like tofu and other kinds of like vegan stuff. So I was very familiar with it. So when I met you, I knew what it was. And I had mentioned how much I work and how much I needed energy. And I was like, no, I move around a lot, so I think I'm pretty fit, right? I think I'm pretty fit. Little did I know, these cheeks used to be a lot chunkier. So yeah.
The bear fan said, do they do a lot of vegan stuff in Australia?
You know what? Yeah, the vegan scene there's quite nice. So this is pretty big, right? And I have a friend there, Freely. She was my tutor, right? But in Los Angeles, there's a lot of vegan stuff too. So yeah, there is stuff in vegan stuff in Australia. But no, yeah, I was a little overweight. I was a little overweight, and that's pretty good. And yeah, after talking with Elisa, and she told me she was vegan, and she said she wanted to cook for me. I was like, all right, give it a go. And yeah, I mean, I thought she was just gonna give me salads. I swear to God, I thought that's what she was gonna give me.
The bear fan says the friendly cooks might never come back if they see this VOD. I think they're gonna think it's hilarious.
Well, I think we have a lot alike, right? So I think our cultures can mesh, right? And well, we're eating food; it's tasty. So I think we'll get along just fine.
Chaosity says, I like your husband. He has a house. Should I describe it? He has a good vibe.
The vibe is nice, right? But sometimes you gotta tone it down, right?
You never tone it down.
Sometimes I tone it down. Well, it's called sleeping, right?
Yeah, and when you're sleeping.
It's a good time, right? Because you want to shut off the system.
When you're sleeping and when you're watching soccer.
I mean, yeah, if they're doing good.
Yeah, so you thought I was going to make you salad.
I thought you were just going to make me salad. So, I used to eat before I went to go have dinner with the lovely food she was making me, because I was like, obviously just going to give me salads. And yeah, obviously there was like a cycle there. I was just like, I need to stuff, I need to fuel up, I need and yeah, that became a problem. And yeah, after like I fully committed and just decided, okay, I'm just gonna eat what you're making. That's when I slowly started to lose weight, and I was like, oh man,
you lost like 50 pounds.
5-0.
Since I met him. But that was when I first met him.
Yeah, and yeah, there's a picture of us where you can clearly see that I used to be part of Alvin and the Chipmunks. Cheeky. It's quite cheeky. And yeah, slowly when I saw my face just kind of slim down, right? And then I started weighing myself. I was like, dude, I'm disappearing.
Are you ready for the mushrooms on?
I'm ready for the mushrooms. So yeah, I think after I saw like some results, I started like feeling better. That's when I decided to like stick to it. But I think I still kind of wanted to go half and half. I had to ease into it slowly. So just like, all right, I'll still want eggs. I still want salmon. Like sushi, stuff like that. And slowly started easing into everything. And I decided to be 100% fully vegan after I had my last taco in Mexico City. My last oil fried, fatty, fat pork lard.
What'd you have? What was the taco that you had?
It was a pork street taco. A pork street taco. And it
But we
was like,
ate a lot of vegan food in Mexico City,
it
actually.
was great. There's a good vegan scene.
Yeah.
There. So I mean, whoa. Yeah, it was really good. Like I think I gave you a challenge too in the beginning where it was like, if you can make me, this mole, this tamale,
Yeah, I made
this
a lot of
quesadilla, this everything vegan, like I'll do it.
I'll put a little more in mine. That's good, right?
It's pretty good.
I think mine needs more. So I'll sneak some on mine.
You made everything.
I did make everything.
You made everything.
And you love tofu scramble.
Tofu scramble's really good. Yeah.
Curiosity says mushrooms. I love them. I actually ordered a grow box for pom pom or lion's mane mushrooms. I had a grow box for mushrooms, and I actually got some. What were they? Oyster mushrooms.
Were you making oyster mushrooms?
I grew them.
I don't even remember.
I got rid of them because they, I think were attracting flies. It was when we had that fly problem. Yeah.
I like mushrooms too.
Curiosity says when you can cook every meal vegan. Yeah.
It's about the spices.
Yeah.
It's all about the spices.
And textures, I say. Putting more mushrooms on.
Yeah, that's why I feel like I didn't really miss out on anything. I think I got like this. It's all about the flavor, right? So if you get the seasonings right, I think you won't miss out on anything really. All you really miss out on is like the fat, like the cholesterol, the thing that triggers your what do you call that happiness chemical in your brain?
Serotonin or something?
Serotonin. That drug.
That drug.
That drug.
Yeah, these are huge sandwiches, so we used up all the mushrooms. Yes, thank you, Curiosity. She says, I want your sandwich. I thought it looks really tasty. Yeah, it is really tasty. I just needed more filling on mine. How's yours?
Pretty good.
Yeah, mine's really good. Did you want you didn't put all the filling on. You put some pickles on it. Just be careful. You didn't even put any greens on it.
Sometimes I forget to put veggies on my veggie.
You need veggies on your veggie. Trust me, it's worth it.
Yeah.
Just be careful. Don't eat this. That's a chill. And then, do you want greens on it?
I'll take some greens on it.
Okay.
Greens on it.
And if you want extra sriracha too.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it is really good. I thought I'd have enough for 3 sandwiches, but I don't think so. I think I'm gonna have to make. Oop, put too much in. I think I'm gonna have to make another batch.
And the fun keeps going.
So Rue812 says, hello from Berlin. How are you feeling tonight?
Ooh.
It's daytime here, but how are you feeling tonight? Welcome to the chat. Right now we're eating banh mi on a ciabatta, though. I'm still not sure if it's banh mi. So I'm not sure.
Was it missing like the celery, the carrots, you think?
There's no celery.
There's no celery.
It's missing the baguette.
This is pretty crunchy.
It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Oh.
So, Curiosity asks, what are your weekly streaming times? So I do it on Wednesdays and Saturdays. Wednesdays is 1 to 3 Eastern time. And then Saturdays could differ, but usually it's like 8 a.m. till maybe 10 or 11 a.m. I take a break and then I come back in the afternoon. Depending on when the sourdough is done rising, basically. So between 1 and 3 p.m. I come back. Rue says I have a challenge for the guy. What's your challenge, Rue? Feel free to introduce yourself too in the chat. Tell us if you're a fellow baker or a cook. What do you like to bake? What do you like to cook? It's 20 p.m. 8 p.m. It's nighttime.
That's our bedtime.
Rue is a little like, I don't know. He wants to blindfold you. So Rue said, the guy gets blindfolded, eats 2 things, and must say what it is. Yeah, I thought you were Chaosity. I thought you were talking in military time. Maybe we can do that for another stream, or
Yeah.
we can get 2 things and you can say what they are. But I have to trick you.
I'm gonna say it's vegetables. Possibly bread.
So you're just gonna win.
I'm pretty good at this.
You're pretty good at this.
I'm pretty good at this. So.
And Rue says he must put on the apron. I think Rue's into some weird stuff. Is it better now? Yeah.
Gotta give it the freshness.
Yeah, Chaosity says in Germany you don't say PM and AM, you just say count from 0 to 24. Rue, he's not gonna put on the apron right now. We're eating. Yeah. Yeah, I think mine needs more herbs.
The loft gets a little messy. It's alright.
Oh, no wonder. There's no herbs left. I must have eaten them all. Oh, I think they're on the other side. More of this, more of that. And more pickles. I just want more of my sandwich. I might get more mushrooms and make it again so I can take a picture of it. I'm sure you'd like that, right?
More mushrooms.
You'd like more mushrooms? It's a nice big sandwich, though. So, what do you think? Is ciabatta is it good for a banh mi or is it not good for a banh mi?
I think it's pretty good.
Oh, Chaosity asked, "What's the stuff in the red glass?" So these are pickled beets. I'm sure you have them in Germany. I'm sure you do. So I fermented these. So I sliced them up like this, raw, and I put them in my fermentation ceramic, what do you call it? Like a jug? What do you call that? It's like a jug. Vessel. There's a name for it. But it's crock. It's a fermentation crock.
Vase?
It's a crock. That's what it's called. And I just, filled it up with a brine and let it sit for about a week or 2. And it's a pickle. So it's not traditionally used beet pickles on banh mi, but I don't like radishes. So I'll keep doing that. Radishes. So I use beets. So Chaosity says, yeah, here it's called rolled to a beet. Maybe. Pickled beet. Yeah. Chaosity says, yeah, I did that with garlic fermentation. It's great. Did the garlic turn green when you fermented it? I pickled garlic once and it turned green. But I hear that's normal. Like greenish blue.
Didn't that happen when you put garlic in a bread one time? Like you baked it in the bread and it turned a weird color?
It turned blue.
I am blue, ba-da-boo-ba-boo. Ba-da-boo-ba-boo.
Chaosity says, yes, I just thought I did something wrong, but it's normal. Something with the garlic. When it reacts to the acid, it turns a weird color. So that's why when I put it in the sourdough, it turned blue because the sourdough is acidic. And then the same thing with fermenting it.
You have to go to the garlic festival.
The Bear Fan says, I make a red wine, garlic, and oil base for my barbecuing. That sounds good. That sounds really good. Like a classic. Yeah, like a classic pairing.
Mm-hmm.
But it's still a little different for barbecue. It's not like a barbecue sauce. It's like an Italian barbecue sauce.
Red wine, garlic, and oil base. Ah. It's interesting.
It sounds like what they put in sub sandwiches.
I like that. I like barbecue.
I know you do.
Mm.
That was unbecoming.
Hmm. What happened?
No, just eating the sandwich.
Mm.
So yeah, ciabatta you think is good for the banh mi?
I think so. It has a crunch. I think
You
that's what the baguette is really, right? Just
It's
like
the crunch,
of it.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Baguettes are a little fluffier though.
You know what I like?
They have more bread.
I would like the ciabatta more than the baguette because the baguette can sometimes be like a little big, so it's like you have to open up really wide to like.
Yeah, it's
Eat
true.
it?
You have to
Mhm.
open up wider to eat
Whereas
the
this one's-
baguette.
yeah.
This one's flatter. The Bear Fan says no, it's just to keep the meat moist on the grill, but adds a great taste. Yeah, okay. We also spray our veggies with it.
Mm.
It's good.
Mm.
I know. It sounds like the special sauce they put on the subs.
Mm.
And I think it's just oil, vinegar, and herbs, really. I'm still not sure if the baguette's better or if this is better.
I like the ciabatta better.
You do?
Yeah. Because the baguette can be like a little too tough.
Too much bread?
Especially if it's like in the oven. Like it's like too crunchy.
Oh, you mean the
Yeah.
toaster?
Toaster oven.
Yeah.
Yeah. It can be too crunchy. This one's just right.
The Bear Fan says, you guys look so happy eating that, making me hungry.
Mm.
We're just happy to be alive, you know? We're just happy to be alive. And Yursi asks, hello, or says hello and asks, what's for lunch? We're eating banh mi's
Mm-hmm.
made with mushrooms, but they're not on baguettes. It's on ciabatta. So that's why we were questioning, can you make a banh mi on a ciabatta? And my husband, who's here joining us, says yes, you can.
I think I'm calling it now. The ciabatta is the
He
superior
thinks
bread.
the ciabatta's better.
I think it's the superior bread.
I'm not sure. I think they're both really good.
This 40-year-old invention.
Yeah. We discuss Yursi says she can never make ciabatta because it always fails. Why does it fail? What happens?
Because it's too wet.
I think that's what I'm thinking, maybe because it's too wet.
Mm.
But yeah, we were discussing on Sunday that the ciabatta is only 40 years old. It's not like an old, ancient, old world bread. It's recent. It was invented in the 80s. Yursi says, I think so. Hydration level is off, probably. Yeah. Yeah, because ciabatta is so wet, you hardly touch it because it gets stuck to your fingers. And Chaosity says ciabatta is great for spicy food. Yeah, I think everything's great for spicy food because I love spicy food.
Mm. anyone bought sriracha since its long
Mm.
absence? Because the controversy,
Mm.
the hot topic, is apparently that it's not so hot anymore. Now it's just ketchup. That's what the people are saying.
I think it's still spicy.
The people have spoken.
I think people just forgot how sweet it was. So, Yursi says, too hot for me. Sriracha's too hot. Some people, can't handle hot food, and that's okay. I really love spicy food, and if you watch more of me, you'll know I put hot sauce in everything. I put spicy stuff in it. I can't. I put chilies in the beet pickles, for example. And it must be spicy.
You cooked a little too spicy for me.
Sometimes I do. Sorry.
It's caliente.
Sorry.
As my uncle might say.
But sriracha, I don't know if anyone remembers, but sriracha was so hard to find for 4 years almost. It was they couldn't get the right chilies, so there was how would you say, like a shortage. Kayasi says she uses Tabasco. Yeah, we have Tabasco too. But sriracha is different than Tabasco because Tabasco is thin and it's just cayenne peppers, or I guess just Tabasco cayenne peppers. And sriracha is made with a less spicy chili. It's made with red jalapenos, and it has sugar added to it, and it's thicker. So it's totally different, like texture and taste. Yeah, Yursi says, I find Tabasco very watery. Yeah, it's watery. Chaosity, try it. Try it. But, I'm not saying Tabasco's bad. I like Tabasco. It tastes different than sriracha. But if you're interested in sriracha, it's thick like ketchup. And it's a little sweet. But yeah, there was a sriracha shortage. And for some of you I know are not in the US, but in the US, sriracha is very popular. It's like ketchup. People use it like ketchup. Yeah, the supply levels are normal, although I think the price has gone up since then.
They had to.
Yeah. But a lot of people were saying, according to my husband, a lot of people were saying that it's not as spicy as it used to be. I kind of think it's the same, and the people forgot how sweet it was because they haven't had it for like 4 years. That's what I think.
When was the last time you had Tabasco?
A few months ago.
Yeah.
I put it on the crab cake. Like last month. Remember the crab cake?
We have Tabasco?
We have Tabasco. Why, do you want Tabasco?
No.
I think this is sriracha.
Tabasco or the Victorias? Remember Victorias? The thing we had in Mexico City?
They're similar. They're similar. I think Tabasco is a little more fermenty tasting.
You don't like Tapatio, right? Tapatio is the guy with the mariachi on the hot sauce.
It's okay.
It's okay. Yeah.
Rosie says, does Costco sell a giant version? They should sell a giant version. They probably do sell a giant sriracha. I think they probably do. We don't have the giant version. This is actually a pretty big bottle right here.
You know what? They do sell giant versions because it's for restaurants.
Okay, yeah.
For restaurants. They probably have a giant version.
Like a jug, right?
So if you want to swim in it. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it depends on the flavor profile. I think Tabasco is spicier and has a stronger flavor, but also like Yursi said, it's watery. But sriracha is super thick, like ketchup, but it's not as spicy. It's got a sweet flavor.
I think the younger kids nowadays are eating more hot sauce because at the cafe, everyone always asks for hot sauce. Everyone. And I feel like that wasn't the norm
really?
8 years ago. Yeah,
really?
Everyone always asks for hot sauce now.
You don't think millennials like hot sauce? I thought millennials liked hot sauce. Any Zoomers in the chat like hot sauce? Just kidding. If you don't want to tell me you're a Zoomer, that's fine. You don't have to tell me. I'll ask my students. I'll do a poll. Who likes
Mm-hmm.
hot sauce?
Mm.
But I thought millennials were like into, because millennials are into artisan products and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So they like all the indie label hot sauces. Oh, Chaosity asked, "What is a Zoomer?" Um, it might be different in Germany how you differentiate the generations, but in the U.S. we differentiate them like I'm a millennial, so I was born, and so is my husband. So I was born in the early '90s, and my husband was born in the late '80s. And Zoomers, I believe, were born in the late '90s and early 2000s. I don't remember the exact date, but a Zoomer is a generation. Yurisi says, "Oh my God, you guys are kids. We're in our 30s. I'm a millennial."
If I shave this off, I'll look my chin.
Mm-hmm.
Well, apparently, Zoomers are what the generation after us, right?
Yeah.
I think it's either Zoomers or whatever the one Z. No,
You mean Gen Alpha?
I think so. One of them. Apparently, they look a lot older now. So
That's what people say.
People say, right?
So yeah, Gen Z is the same as Zoomer. That's like a colloquial term for Zoomer. And Chaosity says she's born in 1991. So yeah, so you're the same as us. I was born in '92, so you are a millennial. By I don't know, Germany might not use those words at all,
The greatest generation.
but in America we use those words to differentiate the generations. Yeah, so millennials, like I was saying, like artisanal products. Like they like the fancy indie brands. I feel like we're all hipsters, you know.
The Trader Joe's generation.
We love Trader Joe's too.
I mean, they have good stuff. So something that Elisa got me used to is after a meal, I always want dessert, but my dessert has to be fruit.
Doesn't have to be, but you usually go for fruit.
But I love fruit.
Even if I have something sweet, he'll go for fruit usually, which is good. Fruit's good for you.
It's all about habits, really. If
Freely would be proud. I don't know if you guys know who Freely is. She is controversial, so I don't want to stir up controversy. But I have like a special like I don't know. I don't want to say like nostalgia for Freely. Like I just even though she's like a little like out there, let's say, and she has certain tactics that I might not agree with. I just love Freely. I love when she tells you to carb up and to eat 10 bananas a day and some weird things that she says. I love it. So yeah, Freely would be proud of him eating all that fruit.
Oranges. A very small amount. I grew up with very bad habits. I used to think like if you drink orange juice, that's like really healthy. So I drank a lot of it. Oh, so I drank a lot of orange juice. And one time when you came over, I was like, oh man, I need to be healthy. So I drank a glass of orange juice, like a really big one, right before bed. And I was like, I want another one. And you were horrified by this.
Were we drinking that night? We were young. We were young and crazy. We came home really late, and we were probably drinking. And before bed, he poured himself like 3 glasses of orange juice.
I needed my vitamin C.
And downed them like this, like just down them. And I was just like, what? Yurisi says OJ needs vodka in it. I don't like OJ and vodka, but I really don't like orange juice that much.
I like it. Sky vodka and OJ? Yeah. That used to be my jam.
3 glasses of orange juice. I thought that was crazy. The bear fence is warming up for a screwdriver. Yeah, that's what he was doing. So now he, do you even drink orange juice anymore? No, because I don't buy it.
No, because I like...
Now he just eats oranges.
I like a variety of oranges. These guys are my favorite, but my former favorite
they're clementines.
Clementines. Little guys. Was, they go through different names, these things. sumo oranges
Sumo.
or decapon
Mm-hmm.
oranges, or there's probably some new name to it now. Those are really great. What's the other one I like?
Well, they're the little tangerines you like, right?
Those another one. No, I'm thinking of apples.
You like Honey Crisp apples.
Honey crisp apples are really good.
Oh, Curiosity said I made orange tofu with rice at weekend and got many oranges left, so I get to drink a glass every day. Good.
Eat them.
And yours says I like navel oranges, like the regular ones.
I like those too. Yeah. Oh, there was juicing oranges that were like
Oh
super
yeah,
sweet.
you were eating the juicing oranges. I don't. Sorry, I made you orange tofu once. Do you remember? At least once, probably more than once. I think we had like 10 oranges in the fridge, and I just was like, we're gonna make orange tofu. No, but I had orange jam. I had orange marmalade in the
I
fridge.
remember that.
And I was like, I don't know what to do with all this orange marmalade because it was a little bitter for me. I find oranges a little bitter sometimes. And I was like, let's just make orange tofu. And it works. So if you ever have orange marmalade, you can make orange tofu with it. And Curiosity says, best for using tofu is freezing it before. It's a game changer. Yeah, you can freeze the tofu before. Not only does it keep the tofu fresher longer, we have tofu in the freezer right now, waiting for you. Yeah. But yeah, it draws some of the water out, which is why Curiosity mentioned it. It draws some of the water out, so it makes the tofu less watery. So it'll absorb more of the flavors of your marinade and easier to cook and stuff. How's your orange feast?
Really good. They're not that expensive either.
Well, they're always on sale.
Like me.
Curiosity says, my brother isn't vegan. He said my tofu tastes like chicken. Yeah, you can get it to taste like chicken. You know, Curiosity and whoever else, a lot of whoever else probably eats tofu. I think tofu has a taste, but I like the taste of tofu. Gazelle, do you know what I mean? Do you think tofu has a taste?
Very, very mild.
It's a mild taste, but it has a taste, and I like it.
It absorbs flavor really well.
Yeah, of course it does.
So,
but I think when I eat tofu, like if you take a piece of plain tofu and eat it, it tastes like tofu, and it's not bad. I like it.
I tend to remember if it tastes different from soy milk.
Well,
Tofu is underrated.
Like tofu, like the sweetened soy milk. You usually drink the sweetened soy milk. Maybe it would taste like the unsweetened one, unflavored. But since when do you drink that? Since never. You don't drink that. Yeah, tofu is underrated. I agree. I love tofu. You know what else is underrated? I think tempeh is underrated. I think more companies should be making tempeh because right now we can only find tempeh like Light Life. Light Life tempeh. Light Life. And Light Life tempeh is a little expensive. I think more people need to get on the tempeh game. I actually think that Target makes their own brand of tempeh now.
Probably Trader Joe's makes their own brand.
Probably Trader Joe's, yeah.
You tried to make tempeh once?
Yeah, it was. Yeah. I need it to be at a certain temperature. Yursi says I never tried it myself. The Bear Fan says tofu is underrated, under napkin, under plate, under table. Whatever I can find to hide it under. The Bear Fan, you have to try tofu. It's so good.
But you have to season it.
You have to season it right. Yeah, you can try grilling it. You can try grilling some tofu, inspired by the Jersey Girl.
You have to be in the seafood diet. I see food and I eat it. That's the good one. We
Your
saw them in real life.
yours he said, what about jackfruit? You want to tell him about the jackfruit we saw in real life?
So look at my head. It was this big.
No, it was like the size of like my body. They were like 50 pounds.
Like this big. Like really this big, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they were on the floor. No one was eating them.
He's talking about when we went to Sri Lanka. There were huge jackfruits in the trees. Huge. But the bear fan said it is a texture thing. I have to ask the Thai place to keep it out of my pad Thai. Maybe you can hide it some way, like if you grate it to make it like almost like a smoked pork or something.
Even if it's like really grilled, like a nice like char or
He doesn't like the texture.
texture, it's too soft. Yeah, be a good cheese.
Jackfruit's good. Like Yersi said, vegans use jackfruit, like the unripe jackfruit, to make like pulled pork and things like that.
So yeah, a lot of the Mexican vegan places that we went to use jackfruit for carnitas, and I think it imitates it perfectly. I think it imitates it perfectly. Like you don't need the pork. The jackfruit has like all the right textures, and if you like make it right, you season it right. I think it's really it's like the same thing.
Jackfruit's really good.
I've had enough carnitas to, make that connection.
Yersi said, I wonder why they let it get that big. I think it just grows that big and no one's there to pick it. Yeah, because they're wild. They weren't all on the farm. In fact, I don't think we saw a jackfruit farm. They were just all wild jackfruit trees.
It's probably good that it's that big too, because you have more fruit to work with, right?
Well, if you guys have ever been to Chinatown in New York City, or maybe other places too, but I just know in New York City they sell like fruit on the street, and sometimes they have huge jackfruits on the street. Maybe not as big as the ones we saw in Sri Lanka, but they do have. You remember seeing them? We do have big jackfruits there. Yeah. Oh, and what I was gonna say is the bear fan. If you don't like tofu because of the texture, try tempeh. It has a different texture. It's chewy. It's not soft. It's firm. And tempeh is made with soy too, but it's not curdled soy. Like tofu is curdled soy milk. Tempeh is the whole soybean pressed together and fermented. And I believe it's from Indonesia originally, but it's really good. Some people don't like it because they say it has a weird aftertaste, but I don't taste that aftertaste. I think it's really good.
Tempeh from Indonesia?
I think it's from Indonesia originally.
Oh.
Where do you think it was from?
I have no idea. These things just pop up. Just walking through one day and there's a new thing. I'm satisfied. It's a good meal.
10 out of 10?
10 out of 10. Yeah.
Yeah, I like my sandwich. I'm still not sure if ciabatta is right for the banh mi. Like it is, but like, I don't know. I have to make a baguette one now.
Party keeps going.
You like tofu more than tempeh, right?
Yeah. I think I'm trying to remember if tempeh has a flavor.
It does.
It does, right? I think you know what it is? It doesn't absorb the flavor as much as tofu.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that's why I like tofu more. You can do more with it.
All right, bye, Yersi. We'll see you soon. Thank you for coming. I hope you have a nice day. We'll probably end in a few minutes anyway.
Okay.
Yeah.
Whew. And I always brag about how I stay the same weight.
Explain.
So I think during COVID is when I got back down to I used to be in the cross country team and track team in high school. And I was a chunky kid then there in high school as well. So when I got into the track team, I slimmed down. All the running in the wrong shoes. Um, but I think I got down to like 155 when I was in high school in my running days, and now as an adult, I was at 215, 215
And
when I
he's
met you.
short.
Yeah, short. And during the lockdown, I got down back to that weight, 155. When I went back to work, I slowly started gaining a little bit of weight, but only like 10 pounds, like 165. And I've been at like between 165 and 168 for the past, I think, 3 years. I don't think I've gone up or down from that. And I've eaten this mountain of fruit and a bunch of food, and I never starve.
No.
I never starve. There's always food in the house. And yeah, it's pretty cool. Pretty cool.
I mean, for a lot of people, it's easier to maintain your weight if you're eating a lot of food that's lower in calorie. If you have a big appetite.
Mm-hmm.
So, which Gonzalo does. I do too, but Gonzalo does even more.
For work, I used to where you gave me two oatmeals and a food.
I used to give you a lot, yeah.
So yeah, I used
Why'd
for
you
my
get
lunch
2 oatmeals?
because I asked for more. I asked for more. I used to go and then just get back to work, and then I had another jar, and I think my coworkers were like, "You're always eating." I'm like, "Yeah, I need to fuel up."
He needs to fuel up. Yeah, it was overnight oats. For those who were wondering, it was overnight oats, which is just when you it's like raw oats, but you soak it overnight in milk.
It has to be steel cut. Oh no, quick oats.
No,
Quick
no. Use the rolled oats. Use the rolled oats.
Okay.
Yeah. And he likes it with bananas.
You replaced my cereal consumption. Lots of it. I used to eat a lot.
You still do.
Alright. Good times.
What's your favorite sandwich that I make? Because you're on here, so might as well grill you on that. Kiasi says, I just made overnight oats in my stream 2 hours ago and some vegan protein bars. Oh, Chaosity, you stream? Do you do vegan streams? Yeah, Chaosity, overnight oats are a killer for breakfast. Yeah, I agree, especially because they're easy. And in the summer, you don't want to cook. That's why Gonzalo likes it.
Trying to think of the sandwich.
Yeah, what's the best one that I made for you? I think banh mi is one of the favorite sandwiches that I make, which is why this was perfect.
See, I always have a bad memory, so I can never remember. I always remember the thing that's in front of me.
Well, do you like, so I know you like Taylor ham sandwiches. Do you like the mushroom, the mushroom mole sandwich that I make with the
I like that
onions?
one. That one's really good.
I like that one a lot too.
I think I like that one more than this one.
Yeah, I like, I don't know. They're both really good. They're both almost similar, but not.
Yeah.
Chaosity says, yes, I started 5 to 6 weeks ago. I love cooking and baking and talking. Okay, Chaosity, let me do. I'm so good at this now. Oh, I have to spell your name. I'll do a shout out for you, Chaosity, and I'll check out your stream later. Chaosity streams, and she streams cooking content. So, and vegan cooking content. So that's great. So Chaosity, I'll check out your stream later when we're done, and I'll give you a follow. So thank you for letting us know. I love, so not only do I make cooking content, okay, and baking content, I like watching it too, so as Gonzalo does. I like watching it usually while I'm cooking. So I might not always be active, like, in the chat. I'm not like a Twitcher. But, you know, I do like watching it. Chaosity says, nice, thank you. I'm really new to Twitch. I'm just learning how to set everything up. Chaosity, I'm in the same boat as you.
Don't trust the cameras.
Yeah, my camera didn't work today. We'll figure it out later. That did upset me because we spent so long setting it up last night.
it worked
and
like
he was
minutes
with me.
before.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's like
we were making
um
faces at it too. I was waving my hand around it.
um. But yeah, I'm new too, and I'm not a gamer, so I actually wasn't on Twitch at all. But my sister helped me do it. So if you ever need help, you can hit me up, or we have a Discord too. So let me put that in the chat. The Bear fan says even the veterans have issues, and we have a new person in the chat. So let me address that before I keep talking. Adros Zorks, I think it's just a thumbs up. Welcome to the chat, Adros Zorks. Let me know if you want me to call you something else or I'm mispronouncing your name. And feel free to tell us who you are, introduce yourself. Do you like cooking? Do you not like cooking? Do you like banh mi's? Can you put a banh mi on ciabatta? Let us know.
Do you like oranges?
Do you like oranges? We like oranges here. Theosity said, I thought about to stream in English to reach more people, but I guess my English isn't that good. Oh, well, your English seems good to me right here. I can understand you in the chat. I'll look at your streams even though I don't speak German, but I'll still look at them. Let's just put it this way: your English is better than my German is, so you could try. You could try. Guten Tag.
Guten Tag.
Yeah, that's about it. But yeah, I was gonna say we're on Discord, and if you feel so inclined, you can join our Discord. It's still small now, but you can chat with us on there. And if you have any questions or concerns, you can chat with me or I know the Bear fan is always willing to help. The Bear fan has been on Twitch for a long time, so always feel free to reach out. And yeah, and on our Discord, what it's really aimed towards is for all you guys to come in and share the food that you're making. But there are other channels too, of course, just for chatting and things like that. But I post a lot or relatively frequently in there. But if we get more people in, we can have a more active community on there. So that'll be exciting. The Bear fan says, I have a French streamer that is hard to understand, but the majority of their content is English based, and they do just fine. Those are words of encouragement from the Bear fan. Yeah, words of encouragement from the Bear fan. I think you should try it. I think you should try. Your English sounds fine to me, at least through the chat. So
I think it's endearing to English speakers. I think.
Yeah,
especially
I think
to
it's
Americans.
cute. Yeah,
any sort of accent is like, oh,
it's cute. Ooh, it's foreign.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I think you should at least try. But yeah, you said you made overnight oats on stream. Did you also make the protein bars on stream? And if so, what'd you put in the protein bars? I don't think I've ever made protein bars. Have I made granola bars?
Yeah, you used to give me squares that I always like.
Oh, well, the oat bars.
Oat bars, is that it?
Yeah, I make it's baked oats. I make baked oats. It's like the overnight oats, but I bake them and and then give them in little squares.
Yeah.
I think I made that the first time I made it was because we had so much sweet potato left.
Oh, and yeah.
I didn't just want to put sweet potato in your overnight oats because I thought that would be weird. So I baked it like a sweet potato pie, but it was it was just sweet potato, soy milk, and oats, and maybe a little extra sugar. But the soy milk was sweetened already, so I don't think I added too much extra sugar, and it was just maybe some spices, and that was it.
Really, really, really good.
The Bear Fence has just had overnight oats yesterday. Yeah, he's an oat fiend. Like he loves oats.
Like I think I would probably be upset if I didn't get oats before. That's how much I love oats.
Yeah, he sometimes would be like, "Where are the oats?"
Yeah, and I think sometimes people ask me, "Oh, don't you miss this? Don't you miss that? Like, don't you miss cereal?" Because I used to be a cereal fiend.
I'm gonna make some homemade cereal and like that lady that everyone got mad at TikTok. Chaosity says, "Yeah, both protein bars I made with bananas." Sweet lupine. I don't know what that is, sweet lupine. So let us know what that is. That might be a German thing. cinnamon, baking powder, maple syrup, and protein powder, and some soy milk. That sounds good. That sounds similar to the oat bars that I made, but I didn't put protein powder in it.
Don't let water get in your maple syrup.
You're telling. Today I was upset this morning because the maple syrup went bad, and we think it's and that never happens. I really think it's maybe it must have gotten contaminated, but it just smells weird. I can't. It doesn't look bad, but it smells weird, and something must have gotten into it.
Yeah.
So it's a flour. I just translated it in Google. It has 40% protein. Oh, okay. Okay.
Oh.
Yeah, okay. I've never heard of it, but I'll look into it. Yeah, it might be a German thing, or it might just be some kind of niche kind of health food thing that I just never heard of.
If we ever go to Germany, you have to try that.
Yeah. You want to go to Germany?
A bread journey all around the world.
Probably good bread there.
Yeah, Germany always looked very interesting. Because I think it kept a lot of its like historic look, like the quintessential kind of German building, like a village. Yeah, I wanted to look at it. It was like
at least in the pictures.
Yeah, it was like Munich. Is it Munich?
Munich?
Is that where like they had that? We looked this up. Remember, like
I don't remember which one.
But Bavaria, I think, is the thing that I'm thinking of. Where they have this, well, at least we think that they have the Lederhosen, I think it's called, the thing, and they drink the beer.
You want to see that?
I want to see it.
It's like a theme park. You can see that in Disney World. In Germany, you can buy yogurt from Sweet Loopines. Yeah, it must be a German thing then. Because never heard.
Buy yogurt.
Yeah, apparently they make yogurt with Sweet Loopines. So apparently Loopines is like something they put in yogurt.
Wait, I thought it was a flour.
It is, but it must be a sweet flour. Like how we there are some things like lavender. Lavender, they might. I mean, we don't put it in yogurt, but they might.
Oh.
Rose water.
Oh, flour like FLOWER.
Yeah.
Oh, I thought it was FLOUR.
Oh yeah, no, like a flower.
Oh.
Like saffron is a flower.
Oh, it's a flower.
Yeah.
How would I just read, huh?
Kayasi says it's the best yogurt made with lupine. So we're gonna have to try it. You used to eat a lot of yogurt too, right?
Yeah.
You used to eat like big containers.
The Greek God's honey yogurt, like a really big tub is. Well, that's obviously a serving.
There's probably like 10 servings in there.
It was like 30 grams of fat per serving, something like that.
Yeah, the bear fan says FLOUR, a funny guy. Yeah, he's a funny guy, all right.
Did I spell it right?
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, you spelled it right.
Okay. You are. A flower. What's the thing that kids drink these days that turns everything purple?
You mean the butterfly pea
powder?
I don't know.
That's what's hip these days.
Have you had it? I don't know if
I
have had it. I don't like it.
Yeah.
I didn't like it.
I liked it.
Yeah, you liked it.
Yeah.
I remember we have some down there.
Yeah.
I think we got it from my mom, but she didn't give it to us as a gift. I think she gave it to us because somebody gave it to her. I don't want to shout her out.
Won it in the contest,
I think
right?
she either wanted it or someone gifted it to her, and then she like second-handed it to us.
Oh,
but you liked it as an iced tea, so we have to make that this summer. Use it up. You can't let it go stale. Blue Bonnet. Have you heard of Blue Bonnet?
No,
I haven't heard of Blue Bonnet either. But I'll look into it. But I've never seen that. But apparently it's fairly popular in Germany. Popular enough that they make yogurt with it. So here in America, we make strawberry yogurt, banana yogurt, other flavors.
I don't know. I had a coworker who
vanilla.
Her family went with her to Germany. I think it was like for a wedding or something. And they went out looking for Mexican food in Germany.
You told me that. Yeah. And they were successful?
Yeah, they found it, but they were like, it's no good. It's Germany. I'm sure
Curiosity, do you guys have good Mexican food there?
it's.
It's more a base like oat or soy yogurt. Oh, so it's like the base of the yogurt. That's so interesting. The bear fan says blue bonnet is big in the Native American community for their healing properties. Okay,
it's here.
So it's here too. We just don't know about it.
Mm.
It's a secret that Curiosity only knows about.
Mm.
And the Native Americans.
Mm-hmm.
So they make it as like a yogurt substitute.
I'll start looking out for it in the park.
Okay. Good luck.
Could be it.
Curiosity, do they have Mexican food in Germany? Good Mexican food?
According to a very interesting person, no.
No. The bear fan says, but does remind me of lavender, which is used in some cooking. Yeah, lavender I was thinking of. Mm-hmm. Cassie says, we don't have that much Mexican food in my area, but I tried some and I love it. So she said she likes it.
Yeah, it's probably good.
It's probably fine. It's probably not like the food in Mexico.
I still think you shouldn't be looking for Mexican food in Germany.
It's so funny. Wait, were they Mexican?
Yeah.
So why would they?
Because they're weird. It's like going to California and asking for a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese.
Yeah.
It's like, there's no good Taylor ham, egg, and cheese around here.
Just so you guys know, Taylor ham, egg, and cheese is a New Jersey thing. Mm-hmm. I mentioned it before on stream, but for those of you who weren't here, it's a New Jersey thing. But yeah, they wouldn't know what you're talking about other places. Okay. In California, would they know what a Taylor ham, egg, and cheese is? No. Oh, I'm sorry, Curiosity. Yeah, I can't see you, so I don't know. And your name is Curiosity, so it's a toss up, really. It's a 50-50 shot. Okay, Curiosity is a he. The more you know. You can't read it from the name.
No. Yeah.
Yeah, what time? Okay. Do you want to call the stream soon? Yeah.
I had my fill. I had fun.
So, I hope you guys had a nice time today, and I'm glad everyone came, and I'm glad I met Curiosity, who also streams food in German, but maybe she'll do some English content too for us, so we can watch and understand. And so, yes, Curiosity, have a nice. Oh, yeah, it's almost evening. Have a nice evening, Curiosity. So, for those of you who maybe came in late, we made mushroom banh mi with ciabatta. We still have not solved the question if that's still a banh mi. I'm still not sure. But Gonzalo doesn't care because he says it tastes good.
Tastes pretty good.
And so if you want to watch me fight with my camera and make the filling, because I made the filling on stream, you can go back and rewatch the VOD. It'll be automatically uploaded on Twitch, and then eventually by next week I'll upload it onto YouTube. So there's my YouTube. Bye, Adrozorks. Thank you for coming. So that's my YouTube. If you want to watch, any old VODs, they'll be up there. I also upload shorts on there. So if you just want to watch short versions of what we do, that'll also be up there. And I'll put all my socials. So there's all my socials. So also on Instagram, I post pictures of what we do. And that's why I wanted to make more mushrooms so I can post a picture of the sandwich because we ate all the mushrooms. Yeah, they kind of cooked down a lot. But on Instagram, and I also post updates, which I have to do. I'm behind on things. But I also post updates on my cottage bakery on there. So if you are just curious about that, I know a lot of you won't be partaking in buying from me. But if you're just curious about what's going on, you can look on Instagram. And also on my website, I post recipes on my website. There's already a lot of recipes up there, including the ciabatta bread. The ciabatta that we made on Sunday is already up there. So if you want to recreate anything we make on here, it'll probably be up there within a week or so. Depends. Sometimes it takes me longer, but usually within a week or so. So yeah, are those all my socials? Yeah, those are all my socials. So stay tuned. On Saturday, we're making chili oil focaccia starting at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. It will be for a few hours, so if you come in a little later, that's okay. My plan is I want to do it similarly to as last week. So my plan is to do it on one day. So I'm going to do 8 a.m. to 10 a.m. just the stretch and folds, mixing the dough and the stretch and folds. Take a little break, come back at noon, and then plop it down, and then dimple it with the chili oil. Wait for it to do its final rise, and then get it right in the oven. And you guys will see the full process. So that's going to be on Saturday this week. So and then if you guys also just if you guys are interested in going on my Discord, I have a section for suggestions and ideas, and it's for you guys to give me ideas. But I posted some ideas that I have for the summer. So if you guys have any more ideas of segments I can add for the summer, because I'll have more time in the summer, and it'll just be I just want to do some more things basically. I want to do some more things, not just showing you sourdough bread because that's awesome, but it's kind of the same process every time or similar process every time. So I want to show you some more unique and varied things. So yeah, if you guys have any suggestions, you can shoot them up there on my Discord or let me know, like DM me on Instagram or send me a chat on here, whatever it is, right? So just let me know about that. So then thank you guys for coming. I hope you had fun, and I will see you on Saturday. Take care. Take care, Adros. Take care. Okay. Bye, everyone.